Hello and welcome back to Assetto Corsa, and this time not for a video on the Nordschleife challenge. Though we are on the Nürburgring Nordschleife today, we are not taking part in the challenge. Why, you may ask? Because recently, and this is why I have not had any videos on driving sims or anything, no Euro Truck Simulator, no Assetto Corsa Competizione, no, what else was I thinking of doing? Assetto Corsa itself. I think I had some BeamNG that I was going to get and try some of those, but none of that has actually happened because I've been waiting for the last parts of my Fanatec kit to arrive. Now, it was delayed 1, 2, 3, I think about 4 weeks it was delayed, unfortunately, so I've been unable to make those kind of videos. Now that I finally have it, and it is the round steering wheel, the Clubsport RS steering wheel, as you may have noticed from the title of this video, I want to see just what it's like to drive in Assetto Corsa before I get back into the challenges, before I get back into really trying to push the cars. And I thought, what better way to do this than to take the car out, a car on the Nordschleife, look at the time I did in the challenge and see if I can get anywhere near it at this point in time on my current setup, on my new setup. Just very quickly, for those people who do not know, my new setup is a Fanatec CSL DD with the Clubsport RS Wheel, or the McLaren GT3 wheel if I'm doing Formula 1 stuff or GT stuff, but generally it will be the Clubsport RS Wheel, the Fanatec V3 pedals, and the version 1.5 shifter in this case will be in H pattern mode, and eventually I'll probably get a hold of the handbrake at some point so that I can start doing some drifting or something along those lines, start playing Dirt Rally or something. So that is my setup. Now again, I'm not 100% certain how well this is going to go. This could go very wrong. I have got all the settings back to where they were. Everything is controllable on my steering wheel. Everything is set up as it should be. And the time that I am looking to get this car somewhere near is going to be a, let's have a look, Lotus Exige S. So it is 802.699. That was done nearly a year ago. In fact, that is when I did that. That was nearly a year ago that I set that time. Wow, that's been it's not many cars that I've gone through in 1 year, is it? Oh well. Anyway, that's enough of me blabbering. So I'm going to do that, and then perhaps I may swap over to something like the Ferrari 458 and give that a go as well, which was done a few months ago, and see if I can drive the car in that, of course, with the paddle shifters, which you may just about be able to hear. Anyway, let's get started, and let's hope I really do not make a hash of this. Okay, so here we are set up. Let's give this a go. Right, first things first is that I actually have a biting point about there now, so that's pretty good. So let's put that into first, and I can actually get the car to move off like so. Now this is not going to be easy for me, I will admit. This, ooh, there's your first. Right, okay. Interesting is the interesting is the turning. The steering angle is now different for these cars, so, and it's a lot more powerful as well, which obviously I've mentioned before. I've definitely mentioned that one before, that, you know, there's a lot more force going into the wheel, so it's a lot harder to drive the cars. I noticed that with the McLaren wheel as well. I have to say, in terms of feel, it does feel more upmarket than my G27 wheel, but not massively so, if that makes sense. The look of it is far nicer. But the actual part that you hold on to, not a massive not a massive difference at all between that and between the G27's wheel and this. The leather's a little bit more softer, I would say, and a little bit more padded. But aside from that, there isn't really much. The one thing I've got to be aware of is that the way I'm having to heel toe at the moment, it's very different to how I was before on the G27. It's like it's much harder to heel toe in this than it was. Yeah, it's much harder to heel toe in this than it was in the G27, because I feel like it blips a lot faster, and I think perhaps the reasoning for that is that the throttle pedal is that the spring is a lot lighter than what I'm used to in the throttle pedal. I say a lot lighter. It's just it's not massively lighter, but it is significant. And I think that the force that I'm putting through my foot is a little bit too much for it. So there is that, which you hear it every time. It sort of jumps off the limiter very, very quickly, which is something I'm trying not to do. The other thing is obviously the way I'm actually going about driving the car. You'll hear that occasionally the way I'm revving it, and as I'm changing gear, it's like there's a desync between my clutch and my throttle engagement, leading to it being, oh dear, leading to a weird. It's almost like the clutch slips a little. So I'm just having to be a little bit careful. I'm trying to learn that, especially at speed. When you're doing it at speed, it's a lot harder, far more difficult than obviously doing it slowly. So because everything has to be a little bit more precise, everything has to be a little bit more perfect. Don't go on the grass. The other thing is, actually, I'm having to focus so much on driving the car right now. I'm actually missing gear warnings of when to shift. Okay, admittedly, I've not driven this car in a long time, but still. And also, there's a little. You might be able to hear a little bit of clicking, and I'm just trying to work out what that is. I know where it's coming from. I'm just trying to work out is that a screw not being tight enough, or a screw slightly too tight, and it's straining against the force. You can probably hear a little clicking noise. So I do need to be a little bit wary of that. I feel like my oh dear. I feel like my post-processing filter is wrong at this point in time. It just looks a bit dark, so I'm going to end up changing my post-processing filter, I think. Perhaps when we get near the straight. I'll be honest, I don't think I'm doing all too badly. Okay, as he says that. Whoa. That actually does throw you for a bit of a loop now. In fact, let me change my post-processing filter now. That's much better. Yes, that's a much. Now it's much easier to see things. The contrast is not as insane. But yes, I've got everything mapped as it should be. For example, wipers right there. So I can mess around with wipers, indicators if I need to use them. This one doesn't have them. I can switch up to the high beams if I need to. Yeah, this clicking noise is annoying me. So I'm going to have to check these screws and see. So the noise appears to be coming from. It appears to be coming from the quick release and the connection from the quick release over to the wheel itself. It seems to be that right there that's causing it. Now the other thing is, one of the things that obviously I'm used to. One of the things I'm used to is being able to judge from my wheel response what my car is doing. That's all changed now. That's really changed. Like, you can still judge it, but it's far more realistic. It's far more natural now. And it's amazing how much Assetto Corsa can feed to you. Right, so let's go around this corner. And you know what? I don't think I've done such a rubbish time. Now I know normally I start from the hot lap point. See, it's just that I'm not all too. Ooh, it's understeer. I've got to be careful. Now, I'm not all too keen on the little clicking. All right, full speed though. Full throttle now, all the way down this. 155 miles per hour, 156. I think we're doing all right. We can really start pushing this now. Okay, come on, keep that. Okay, that's a lot. Right, it's a lot harder to keep that together. On that long run down. The car wants to snap, and if you feel it, and it really is not ideal. Right, what kind of lap time are we looking at now? Let's find out. So what I did have to do is I did have to restart it because we ended up with, well, I say I ended up with my controls being completely reset, which was very, very annoying. It's a problem I've had with Fanatec a few times before, but I thought it was sorted, and now it seems like it's back. So it looks like at this point in time I'm about 20 seconds, 25 seconds slower. I think if I was looking for 8.02699, which, as I said, right at this point in time, I am 25 seconds slower than that time. That's ridiculous. So somehow I've got to find 25 seconds on this track. That's going to be tough. Okay, admittedly, you know, I've not driven in a while, so there is that too. But still, 25 seconds is a lot of time. Make that 23 seconds. Come on. Yeah, this is more of a Nordschleife challenge now than it ever was before. I'll tell you that. So if you want to see a much more of a challenge, this is now much more of a challenge. There's more forces, more things to go wrong, more. There's just a lot more going on here. 22 seconds. So what I would like to do, I think, is either move my throttle pedal a little lower or move my brake pedals just a smidge higher. I think that's what I would really like to get out of this, because I think that's what's causing me my heel toe problems at the moment, is that the pedals are just not quite aligned as I'd like them to be. In fact, it's a bit like my own car. The pedals are not quite where I want them to be in my real car, whereas in other cars I've driven, they have been in a better position for me anyway. That's not to say it's a better position for everybody, it's just personal preference. So my thinking is, if I can get this within about 3 seconds of what I was doing, then I should be okay. But at the moment, I'm nowhere near. That's for sure. So at the moment I'm, what, 18 seconds off? Something like that? 18 seconds is certainly not 3. But yes, everything's just now just a lot more of a challenge. It's much harder to drive the car. Whereas before I could easily drive this car with one hand, now it's not the case anymore. You really have to be focusing. And I like that challenge. I really do like that challenge. There we go, that's not too bad. And hard on the brakes. Alright, 8:19. Not ideal, is it? Far from it. Oh, okay. You can really feel that a lot more now. "16 seconds off, roughly. That's it, that's not too bad. I remember this is a nice third gear section. All the way through. Here we go. Keep it in third. Good. Hold this in third all the way. I'll remember this. Keep it in third. That's it. Touch that side. Over that. Watch yourself. Okay, I seem to be doing okay-ish around. It's tough. I'm not going to deny that. It's really, really tough. There it goes. As I mentioned, it's really tough, but that being said, it looks like I was on course for about an 8 minutes 7. That's not particularly good enough, is it? From an 8 minutes 3 to an 8 minutes 7, that's not great. Also, I really need to watch the gearing again. So when the car goes, because at the moment it's quite heavy at the moment, my steering, which I need to dial down a little. And the reason it's really heavy is because it's still set at the levels of what the GT3 rim is. But obviously being a bigger wheel, it does dampen that down a little. So I'm feeling I really need to work on that rev limiter for me. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit, well, a lot more force than you would get on a road car, that's for sure. It just feels, everything just feels a lot more violent. Should I do one more lap? Yeah, I could do. think I could just do one more lap and see. And again, I do apologise about the clicking. One thing that I am going to do is I'm going to have a look in post-processing and see just how loud that is, and maybe adjust my microphone if it's not something I can get rid of. Okay, so we're sitting at an 8 minutes 24 because of the spin I had, but it looks like we're getting there. We are getting there. And again, that is difficult right there. That section is really difficult, so I'm probably going to end up losing a second per car on that. .23. Again, as I would do on a Nordschleife challenge normally, I stop looking at the time at this point and just focus on driving. So now that I've seen the kind of lap time I am capable of getting, I'm just going to focus on driving as fast as I can, seeing what comes of it. Oh dear. And really just try my best to compensate for whatever the car's doing. One thing that is something is that there seems to be a bit of a when I'm driving around. I think when I press the clutch in, it's that there's quite a distinct thud, and I'm just wondering if there's a way to get rid of that thud, because I think that thud would then echo through it just echoes through everywhere, and that you know, that frequency, I can hear it, and it's not ideal. So I would much rather not have that thudding every time I'm changing gear. Whoa! I took my hand off the wheel to change gear there and almost lost control of the car. That tells you how difficult this is to drive. Took my hand off the wheel, almost binned it. So what I would really like is just a tiny bit of cushioning on the clutch, and on the brakes as it comes up. I could do with a little bit of cushioning, that's for sure. Again, stop bouncing off the limiter. You're not going to do this car any good. Hopefully this isn't giving you guys ideas that my driving is absolutely abysmal. I'm sure you've seen videos where my driving is not quite as bad, but in a way it's strange because it does very much feel like I'm learning to drive all over again. It's like or not learning to drive all over again, but it's literally like I'm getting used to a brand new car after 10 years of driving the same car. Now, admittedly, in the real world, I'm pretty good at adapting car to car. I could just jump into a car or a van or anything and just drive it. But in this, I think because it's 10 years in this scenario, this situation, and many years, you know, been driving a very specific in this world, it's always the same thing. And now it isn't. It's really changed. It's changed a lot for how I approach things and how I'm driving. I really have to change up my approach on this one. It's apparently on 1.5 seconds up, which isn't too bad. So I've just got to make sure I do not bin it. That's the big thing. See, that's the other thing. If I hit curbs now, not only do I feel them, I hit the curbs, and it has the ability to throw me off now with the fact that, you know, that I may not be able to hold it. I might not have enough force in my arm at that point in time to catch that sudden snap. That's the snap of oversteer that you might get with one of these. Actually, the other thing I can do is braking harder. That's what I've not been doing. So I'm probably losing about 2 or 3 seconds just on my braking here, I think. Yeah, I think just on my braking I'm probably losing 2 or 3. Whoa. Okay. That was bad. Okay, well, we know we were about at 1.5 seconds up, and now we're about 2 seconds down, so there's the other things that can catch me out quite easily, it seems. Yeah, this is a lot harder to drive these cars now, but it just shows how much a different kind of steering wheel would give you the ability to do. You know, and the approach you need to take, and the way these cars now feel. It's quite it's very different. I was going to say it's quite different. It's very, very different. These cars now feel a lot more alive, and it just shows that, you know, if I were to go onto the Nordschleife, for example, there's no way, you know, I wouldn't be able to drive a car flat around the Nordschleife if this is what they feel like. Now, that being said, I will, as I've said before, I will say, okay, I'll go across there. I will mention that obviously the forces that I'm experiencing here are more than you would feel in a real car like this, but nevertheless it's still a lot more towards the realism. So I think if I dial these forces down about 30%, that would be probably what a real car would be like, I think. Help if I can get it in gear. Let's go, that's it. Come on. Okay, so I'm not terribly off. I mean, if we took the 1.5 seconds, so I ended up 2 seconds down. So we take that off this, add in the 1.5 seconds, add in the 1.5 seconds as it was. So let's say 2 seconds off that is at 808. 1.5 seconds, 80. So we're looking at around an 806, really. Yeah, an 806 is what I would have got. Compared to an 80, almost an 803, that's not terrible. I'll be honest, for my first day on this, that without any tuning really, that is not terrible at all. And of course that's also taking into account the fact that, you know, I'm not really pushing in certain places because I just cannot. .809. Should I do one more lap? I won't try the Ferrari today then. In this video I'll just do this one car and just see what comes of it. Go, come on. It's a bit slow through there. Not sure about that second gear there, but again, I'm starting to treat this more like a Nordschleife challenge now than what it was before. which was me just testing out the car and testing out my new kit. There's definitely opportunities here. There we go, slightly harder on the brakes now maybe. Can feel a little bit of scrubbing, but it's all starting to come together, but definitely a lot harder to do this now than it was before. Lots harder. It also means that I really need to get a lot more practice on this if I'm going to be able to do this. For example, the kind of driving I'm doing right now, I'm going to have to get enough practice on this in order to be able to do the Nordschleife challenge. Slowly started to get this, started to get better. Again, I want to be in the 8-minute 6s really. That's the kind of goal that I'm looking for. So if I can get into the 8-minute 6s, at least I know that I'm capable of driving the car fairly quickly with, well, what you're seeing here is essentially what the kind of practice I would do before my proper laps on the Nordschleife challenge. 2 or 3 laps like this. The difference here being is that I'm not just trying to get used to the car, I'm trying to get used to my equipment, which is a big difference. And I'm really having to grip the wheel. That's the other thing. At points, I'm really having to grip the wheel tightly to ensure that I do not lose control. For example, coming through this corner, there we go. That's not bad. Now I'm just looking at new lines as well. But you know, you can see that I'm improving as I'm practicing, and I thought I'd just capture this on camera, and also it gives me an idea of where I need to perhaps adjust this wheel, the clutch for example, or that weird clicking noise from the screws, you know, that sort of stuff. Just, oh, that was close. That was really close. That was also another close one, and that was another close one. But we managed to make it into the corner, and a bit wide, and then power out. Yeah, that's okay. Let's try and not knock it into this time. Oh, it's gone again almost. I felt that. That was difficult. I mean, you felt the car go there. Which is, again, there's some differences in how I'm responding to sort of the stimulus that I'm getting from this. Ooh, that's fast. Too fast. Too fast. I'm experiencing different things in different ways. I'm feeling the vibration of the car differently. I'm feeling the understeer and the oversteer of the car differently. The bumps and what that's doing to the car. Instead of me just being able to hold the car in one place, now the wheel's reacting more as a real car would, and indeed a real car should. What if I just hold this in third? Kind of does the trick. Come on. Oh boy. Right, let's try and get this corner a little bit better this time. There we go. Much nicer. Not too long of this lap to go. Not keeping an eye on what lap time I'm getting. Just this doesn't feel too good, but it certainly feels around the 8 minutes. Oh, certainly got to be a little bit faster than the 8:10 or whatever I did in the last lap. 8:9, near 8:10. Oh, okay, that might have cost me a little. This again, this corner. It's difficult to keep the car straight through what you want and holding the kind of, for example, completely wrong gear there. But it's alright, not too shabby overall. Now let's see if I've got the strength to hold this coming out of here. I do, just a bit, or just enough. And now let's take a look at the lap time. 8:03.9. I'm within 1 second of my fastest lap time. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. Okay, so there we go. That is how I'm going to end this video. What I will say is that getting to 1 second of my fastest lap time that I managed in the Lotus a year or so ago, that was a lot harder than it has been previously. I will say that much. It's been a lot harder to get to that lap time than the previous, than on the Logitech G27. But 8:03.82, that's pretty good. 8:03.82 is pretty good, and I know obviously that there's lap time to be had, for example, here and now. I could start looking at much higher speeds and things like that. So as for example, taking through that, look at that, about 2/10 through that. If I leave this in third all the way through here, you know, might be able to gain a couple of tenths through that, and then just hold it through that, second through here. Up on the curb through that, and see, just need to be slightly slower through there to ensure that we've got this, and so on and so forth. But for now, I'm going to end this video. I'll do the Ferrari in a separate video. But thank you very much for watching. Nordschleife challenges will be back soon. I just need to get a little bit more practice, and that's really about it. And sort out the force feedback on this slightly. It is just a smidge too heavy. As I said, maybe 30% less would be realistic, but it is a smidge too heavy to be throwing around on this. So that is what I'm going to be looking to do. If you did enjoy the video, please remember to hit the like button. I do apologise for the time it's been since the various different videos in Assetto Corsa. So since the last time I did a Nordschleife challenge or any other Assetto Corsa video, do apologise for the time it's been between that. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon at www.patreon.com/ECGadget. Your supports would be massively appreciated. It would really help me out. And also, you can find me on social media at ECGadget LP for both Twitter and Instagram. That is all from me. I'll see you next time when I return in Assetto Corsa to the Nordschleife challenge.